Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a discussion video on Drytron in the current format. So obviously we're in a tier 0 format, so it's very hard to build a deck that counters Ishizu while also playing a deck that plays into the Ishizu cards. But yeah, a couple things I want to mention before the video begins is that shoutouts to Logan JYA, obviously. We have been talking a lot about this deck because obviously the Drykage, we have to, you know. So I hopped on his stream on Monday a couple days ago, and we talked about Drytron in full detail for like multiple hours on like how like to do like what we could do with the list for, I mean, it looks like about an hour and a half, like on how to play this deck in that current format. So if you want like a super in-depth version, I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below to this if you want to go check that out. So I'd highly recommend that. Also, another thing I want to mention is that I've started another channel. This is non-Yu-Gi-Oh related at all. So if you do want to check it out, go and subscribe. It's like majority Minecraft content, but I mean, I figured I'd mention it if you guys are interested in me and other stuff that I do. So yeah, with all that said, I'll get those out of the way. And this was the current list that we were playing prior to the Ishizu cards, but post Bestial cards. So, you know, 3 orange light, being able to like counter them and stuff like that. I think that we actually weren't playing 2 Medionis, but we do have to play that now if you want to play this exact list in this format because of the Ishizu cards. Because like if they mill your Medionis, it's just like GG basically. So it really sucks. However, you can definitely take advantage of the Ishizu cards, like being able to dump 5, like, okay, that just puts a bunch of Drytrons in the grave. That's pretty awesome. But the other issue is that if you mill the Dawn, then you just have 3 Brooks in your deck, which is really awful. So you do have to kind of take a lot of those things into account when going into that format, playing this deck. So I have a couple things here. So this was an idea that we came up on the stream, and essentially what it does is that you can play Diviner to send Mudora to the grave, because that's what a lot of the Ishizu tier players are doing right now, is playing the Diviner to send this to grave. And then what you can do is that you can turn Diviner plus any Drytron into Shooting Riser and then send Keldo. That way you're going to have 2 basically DD Crows for the Ishizu cards, which is pretty awesome. And then you can kind of construct your combo however you want from there, which is really awesome. You can even like bring the Diviner back with like an elf, and then you can tribute it with Trias for Consecrated Light, so it's even harder on them, being able so that they can't summon dark monsters, which is actually pretty awesome. It's like a cool idea, but realistically, I don't know if this is going to be the best like way to play the deck. I have a feeling it isn't. But yeah, another really cool thing is that Herald of the Arclight is basically an FTK versus tier, but you do have to take into account that this is also an FTK against you, because if you tribute the Drytrons out of your hand or the rituals out of your hand, they get banished. So you do have to take that into account. Fafnir can't, you know, send from deck to the grave under this. Well, it can, but it just gets banished. But like, it's just kind of awful. A way you can play around that is that if you have a beta in circulation, you can banish it with like the Fafnir or out of your hand, and then use the beta to bring it back to the grave, and then you're fine. So there is like slight workarounds that you can work around, but like it's just really awkward. Another thing is that basically all of the Ishizu cards are really good against you. Mudora being able to like just send 3 back into your deck is just like busted. Keldo doing the same thing, just send 3 Drytrons back in your deck when you activate them. It's just so unfair. Kelbeck, when you summon Fafnir and send from deck to grave, they can Kelbeck bounce your Fafnir. Now you only have a Gamma in grave. That's just awful. It's just like, it's basically like a Ghost Ogre. It's just insane. And Agito's probably the one that doesn't do anything. It just like mills 5, which is like pretty good for your strategy. The other problem, actually, the other issue, I guess, with Agito is if you do negate Nagito, or Agito, or which one is it? The other one, the one that mills 5. I'm pretty sure it's Kelbeck. If you negate either Kelbeck or Agito with the Perfection, especially the Kelbeck on your Fafnir, then they can use Kelbeck's effect in grave to mill 5 and then get their play started. So the Perfection just absolutely is awful in this build, because you negate Kelbeck so that your Fafnir's safe, and then you have to negate the Kelbeck in grave again. So it's just really awful. Otherwise, they can just like chain block. Same thing with all of the tiers. You have to negate the tiers twice. You have to negate the on-field effect to mill, or in hand in the case of Havnis. or else, or I guess same thing with shear and the in-hand effect, to mill. And then you also have to negate the effect Engrave Diffuse. So you basically are trading 2 negates with all of the tiers, which is absolutely awful. So I really, really do not like the Perfection build right now, just because of that fact that you have to negate every single tier monster twice in order for it to actually matter. Not to mention the Bestial monsters just being absolutely insane. The really cool thing with the Bestials is that you can use Natasha to take them and make Beatrice, so that comes up. Also, Dweller is like the main thing that they make, so that just cuts off your entire deck. So realistically, this deck just has a absolutely hard time against every single card in the Ishizu tier deck, which honestly makes them really strong. It's no surprise that they are obviously tier 0. So something that I have came up with is that we can play something like this. So one thing I was also noticing is that Drytron Nova is probably the worst name. It's your best name normally, but in this format, it's the worst name because of the Bestial cards, which is insane. Because it puts a body on the board, being the Link Creepo, so they can banish your Drytrons. So the name of the game now is that you usually want to use your Drytron effects from your hand until you set up a Battle Lord to negate all monster effects. So that's like the idea. So I think that in this format, playing something like Jack in the Hand, RIP Remote Duel users, is going to be the way to go. Because it's basically just 3 more copies of Cyber Emergency, but you don't get to pick what you add. You can kind of like... if you draw something like Jack in the Hand Emergency, you can just like reveal like Alpha, Zeta, and then like Gamma or something like that, and then they pick one, and then you pick the other one to go to your hand, and then you search the other. So it's like, okay, it's not bad. So I don't personally mind Jack in the Hand, especially having like 3 options, or 5 options, sorry, Zeta, Alpha, Beta, Delta, Gamma, and if you're playing DD Crow, you can also reveal the DD Crow. So it's like pretty decent, honestly. I think that it's a pretty cool card to consider at the very least. But I was thinking about going something like this so that you can use your Battle Lord so that it stops all of your opponent's monster effects. Wow, that is really annoying. Awesome. And then with your Battle Lord, you can search like either the Megalith package if you have a Ben 10 in rotation, or the Ben 10. And then the Megalith package can get you Ophiel, and then the Fairy package can get you Chaos Valk so that you can make Dweller. Another option you can do, shoutouts to the local level duelist. He made a video on this about a month ago about the anti-tier Drytron deck, where you basically make Dweller with Entis. I'll be leaving a link to this video in the description below. And then you also have like a Crystal Wing for protection, and then a Scythe set. It's honestly pretty good, because then the Dweller detaches the Entis, pops the Scythe, they're under Scythe lock, you have a DD Crow in hand. Like, it's just like a pretty solid list, honestly. So you could definitely do a list with that as well, but I think I would definitely recommend playing Vendreads right now. And the thing is, you can't really use the Battle Lord, like, you can't really summon it from grave. You have to summon it from your hand. So I want to do a couple test hands with you guys and show you, like, I think that this is probably going to be one of the strong lists going forward. Yeah, like I said earlier, you can also play, like, the Medora and the Keldo. Yeah, you can play these guys, just so that you have like graveyard interruptions. If you draw like a multiple fairy hand, your diviner can send one of those. It's kind of a cool option. I don't know. It's definitely something to consider. But yeah, you can also play Recital Starling, but realistically, I'd probably just drop this from the list. Most of the times, if you were to make Recital Starling, you'll also have access to Beatrice. And so in those cases, you should probably just make the Beatrice and then send the Medora anyways. So this is definitely like a concept list, so I don't know. So like rather than playing the brick of DD Crow, you could play the brick of Kelbeck, or not Kelbeck, Keldo or Medora, you know? So you have like a couple of options there. But I do want to show you guys some test hands, and I want to show you like real idea test hands. So basically I have a tier list right here, like a rough idea. This is just something I cooked up a second ago. And so we're basically just going to randomize it and take the first 5 cards, and we're going to try and play around it. So we're going to do this just as is right now. So yeah, Kelbeck, card's just insane against Fafnir. We got a Havnis, card's just like obviously insane. So we have to play against a Kelbeck and a Havnis. So I'm going to write that down. Kelbeck, Havnis. Okay, let's see our hands. So we have a Orange Light and a Scythe, and we have a Gamma. So Not exactly ideal. We did want to likely see like a you know, a fairy, but we can kind of play with what we got here. So wonderful. I think that we have to go. Oh, it's so awful. This deck is, oh man, this is really, really rough. I think that we have to go for a cyber emergency. And I think with our opponent's Hovness, we just kind of have to let it resolve. I mean, obviously we don't know what their hand is, but I think that we just have to play and then kind of use our orange light as we go along. So I think that we have to do something like this. I think we have to go Cyber Emergency, and I think we have to grab Zeta here. Unless I'm missing something. I don't think so. Okay. We're going to grab Zeta. And then we are going to use Gamma Effect in hand, summoning both. It'll summon it from Grave. And then we're going to overlay this for our Fafnir, and then our opponent's probably going to chain the Hovness here. Their mills are going to be Heartbeat, Druisworm, Keldo, which means that they actually have Graveyard Interruption, which is going to be awful. Wonderful. So we're going to send the Alpha to Grave, and that's probably going to trigger our opponent's Kelbeck. Yep. And then Kelbeck's going to be able to bounce the Fafnir. I think we're going to have to negate that, because otherwise we're not going to be able to play. And then from there, if we activate this Alpha, oh, this is so awful, because if we activate Alpha, then our opponent is just going to stop us. So you're already seeing the struggle. I think that we're going to have to reset this one. That was just not playable at all. All right, next hand. Fortunately for us, our opponent didn't draw Interruption this time, outside of the Serenir. So they basically have a DD Crow. Okay, we can definitely play around this. So, Serenir. I think I spelled that right. I don't know. Oh, okay. So this hand's actually not bad. We can definitely play around this. So we can go for Preparation of Rites. We can search for Benten. And then we can go Effect of Alpha, tribute this Benten, not banish. And then we can use the Alpha to search for our Battlelord. And then we can use our Benten to search for Diviner. And we can't get hit with the Serenir here because, I mean, if they do, they just banish the Benten and it doesn't do anything. So that's totally fine. We're going to activate our Diviner's effects, and we're going to send Arclight. If they Serenir here, sure, that's fine. We are going to add the Vendread ritual spell here. And we're going to use this from the hand. So we're going to activate it. We're going to banish, or not banish. We're going to send from our deck to the grave. I don't know what I'm thinking banish. Send the Battlelord, and we're going to summon the Battlelord from the hand. Then we're going to go Battlelord's effect, and we're going to banish this Battlelord out of grave, and then our opponent can't use monster effects. There could be an argument that they use the Serenir to banish the Battlelord, but then you just banish the evolution, and you can still do the same thing because it's any Vendread card from your grave. And then so yeah, we're going to declare monster here, and then we're totally safe. If they want to, they can banish the Benten out of the grave, and in this case, that is totally fine because we have a Preparation of Rites. So like worst case scenario, they do that. We'll add the Benten. And then we will grab the Evolution out of the grave, because why not? It's just a free card. And then we are going to probably activate this Nova. I would probably send or summon Gamma, because we're going to overlay the Gamma. So it's not really going to do a whole lot. Why is it taking a second? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I thought I was missing something, but I think that this is right. And yeah, so we're totally safe the rest of the combo, which is pretty awesome. We can send the Zeta to grave, and then Zeta can trigger our Benten. And we can add a Meteonis from deck to hand. This hand was honestly really good, so I'm this isn't like a super great example, but it's fine. We're gonna add Chaos Valve. And then from here, I'm probably gonna link off these two for a copy of Dagda. And we're going to trigger our Battlelord here, which is going to add a ritual monster from our deck to hand, and then send one from deck to grave. Now, from here, we have a couple things that we can do. I just banished the top card of my deck somehow. Awesome. Let's go. Should we Meteonis for full here? Probably. Let's try that. So we're going to Meteonis, summon full. Do we send with Fafnir? Yeah, we sent the Zeta. Okay. We're going to go full effect. Let's change the Dagda. I probably should have changed it on the Medionis. That was my bad. We're going to set the Scythe. And then the full is going to add Ben 10 back to hand. And then we can trigger the full effect. I think I summoned this to the wrong zone, but I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. Full can summon Ophiel, and we're going to trigger Ben 10 1, full 2, or Ophiel 2. We're going to add this. And then we already added the Chaos Valk, so we can just add another Ben 10, honestly. Or we can add an Orange Light. Probably just going to add a Ben 10 for right now. What's really cool is that full is a level 2. Not that it's like really going to come up, but yo, we can overlay Gigantic. Yo, we got to play Spray. I'm just kidding. Conflicts with all the Drytrons. That'd be funny though. We'll link these two off. You can summon Gamma from deck. I guess that's kind of funny. I don't think it doesn't do anything. Don't do that. We're gonna go for Elf, and then we can actually Elf effect summon back the full here, which is actually really funny. I don't think we're gonna do that just yet, but we definitely could. We can go Gamma effect. We can tribute the Ben 10 out of our hand and get a free search. That's not bad. We can also tribute the Delta. Honestly, I'm kind of okay with just leaving the Delta in hand for right now until we like decide on something later. We can trigger the Ben 10. We can add an Orange Light. We still have a Ritual Summon to conduct as well, so we can go Medionis, target the Gamma, add back to hand. And then we can honestly make a... We have a lot of options here, which is really cool. So this is what I'm saying. You can make like Laryless to like search for DD Crow, or you can just like make Ben 10. But I think that we could honestly go for like a Masker or Appaloosa here. Or not Appaloosa. Whoa, I'm getting way too far ahead of myself. IP. And then we can go Medionis, summon back the Ben 10. We can trigger this Delta if we want in hand to get a free draw. And we can honestly just make it a format Apo, which is not bad at all. Trigger the Ben 10, and we can add I'd probably add the Natasha here. Actually, that's our only target. So yeah, we'll just add Natasha. Then from here, we can just link all these off. We can make a format Apo that can't be destroyed by card effects. And if it isn't interrupted in some way, we do have this Orange Light we can use also. I forgot to draw with Delta, but I mean, it's kind of irrelevant for the combo, so it's not really that big of a deal. Then we can go Chaos Valk, summon, banishing literally anything you want from the grave. I'd probably recommend keeping a Battle Lord in grave, just so if you Ritual Summon it, then you're fine. Like, you can activate it again. So I'd probably just banish the Arclight here. And then you can overlay and you can make Dweller. So all of that plus a Dweller. And then you can also use your full effect, or sorry, your Elf effect to summon back your full, which is pretty cool because you did Ritual Summon it. And then on your opponent's turn, if you so wish, you could probably use the full somehow. You do need some levels, so maybe you would like go like Elf. I mean, obviously on your opponent's turn, you can go Elf effect, summon the Diviner back, make it level 6, and then you can tribute that. And then you would send the Entis to grave, target the Scythe, summon the Scythe. Just do that, sure, whatever. And then yeah, so that's pretty good. It is a main phase lock, so it's like not nearly as good because they could definitely use like Dark Ruler. But even if they do use Dark Ruler, they're under Dweller, so it's going to be pretty decent. And you also have an Orange Light backup in hand, so I think that honestly is not that bad. That also plays around Saronir or just any Bestial monster pretty well. So I'm actually kind of hype about that. That is pretty nice. And then if you want, like I said, you can use full. You could, if you want, you really don't have to do this. You could tribute this, summon the Tasha from hand, and then you can basically just like negate attacks with the if they were to target your ritual monsters. Probably wouldn't recommend that, but it definitely is an option. Yeah, honestly, pretty good. Let's try one more. We have a 1 out of 2, a 50% success rate, so let's give this a shot. So the next hand, they have Kelbeck, because of course they do. And then they have, honestly, just a really good hand to follow it up. So let's give it a try. I don't know. But yeah, Foolish Burial, honestly, isn't that bad in this deck. Like, on the surface level, it's like really, like, ooh, that sounds really awful. But then if you really think about it, it's really, like, not that bad at all. Because you won't have any monsters with the Bestial effects, so like, it's totally fine. So we're going to go Jack in the hand. Let's reveal, I just sent that to their hand. My bad. I don't think we're going to need 3 copies anyways. That was totally my bad. So we're going to reveal Zeta, Alpha, Gamma in this hand because we already have Delta. And then our Foolish Brawler can grab the other name. So I think that from their perspective, they'll probably just take Alpha, is my assume. And then we'll just grab the Zeta. And then the Gamma can just go in the deck. We'll just grab it later. So yeah, ignore the fact that they have a random Zeta in their hand. Then we can go Foolish Burial and send that Alpha, the same or a different one, from our deck to the grave. Did I set the Jack in the Hand to deck? Man, I'm having a problem today. Anyways, we're gonna go effect of Alpha. We're gonna tribute this Zeta. Although this does play really hard into a Bestial monster, so we do have to think about this. Realistically, just in case we're playing around the Bestials, let's go. Yeah, no, we can do that. We can just tribute this Delta instead. Let's do that. Let's go Alpha effect. Let's tribute this Delta. And then we're going to search for Ben 10. Because we honestly don't care about this Delta. If they like banish it, that's totally fine. We have another one in hand. We can make this combo safe, and then we can trigger our Delta. Then we're going to go our effect of Zeta. We're going to send the Ben 10, and then we're going to use the Zeta effect to grab the Revendred Evolution, and then we're going to go Ben 10 effect to grab Diviner. We don't even need the Diviner, honestly, but it's totally fine. We're going to first, because what's the card in the hand? They have Kelbeck, right? Yeah, so this doesn't, yeah, these don't do anything. It's just the Kelbeck. So we're going to go Evolution. We're going to summon Battlelord. We're going to send the Battlelord from deck to grave. And then from here, we're going to trigger this Battlelord. We're going to banish this one, call monsters. We're totally safe. If they so wish, they could actually use Kelbeck there. Yeah, they could use the Kelbeck there. That is a good point to recognize. They probably would, actually, now I'm thinking about it. So I'm glad I caught that, because they'd probably just use the Kelbeck there to bounce us back to hand. So that does kind of suck. The good thing is that they don't have any other guys in hand. So it's kind of like a win-lose situation. I don't know, it's not that bad. Although Kelbeck is once per turn, so we just have to play around a Hovness. But I mean, we're playing into the Hovness regardless. We kind of have to. So we can add Meteonis. Man, that kind of sucks, huh? Oh well. At least as long as we can like establish a Dweller, we should be fine. Because obviously they don't have an out to it. We don't know that. We're not supposed to know that, but yeah. Let's give it a shot still. So let's go for Fafnir. Let's use this Fafnir to send a Gamma from deck to grave. Okay. Now, kind of hate doing this, but I think we're going to Meteonis. You know, I think we're going to distribute both materials. It's totally fine. Let's summon back this Battlelord, and then let's use the Battlelord to banish the Evolution out of the grave, and then we're totally safe with monster effects. It really sucks that we do have to use the Meteonis to do that, but I think that we just have to deal with it. And that's fine. It happens sometimes. Okay. Let's go for our good old friend, Artifact Dagda. Next, let's go Effective Gamma Engrave. We're going to tribute this guy. We're going to summon this, and we're going to summon this. We're going to use the Meteonis to add back to hand. Then, we are going to... Oh, we forgot the Battlelord. My bad. Sorry, this is a new build. I'm not used to this yet. Battlelord's effect is going to grab us full. In fact, we probably should attribute the full out of hand. I'm sorry. I am messing up right now. This is my bad. We're going to tribute the full out of hand. I'm pretty sure I did that right. Link off first, then tribute the... Yeah, and then add this back. Okay, yeah. My bad, my bad. Okay. It's a good thing that we're testing this right now. This is all completely off the cuff, so we're completely just making it up as we go. But in a good way. We don't want to overlay for Fafnir. We are going to think about it for half a second, I guess. Activate Meteonis. Let's tribute this Gamma. Summon full. I did forget to trigger the Dagda again, but it's fine because we could just do it here. I guess this technically gets set first. So we'll set the Scythe first. Let's grab this back to hand. Then we can trigger this effect tribute, summon Ophiel. Did not mean to go to hand, but that's fine. 1 Ophiel to Ben 10, or the other way around, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna add Chaos Valk probably, or we could add another Ben 10 just to get our draw off of Delta. Let's do that, and then add the full. So yeah, not bad, not bad. Okay, then let's go. We don't really need this full anymore, so let's just link it off. We'll just make a Sprite Elf. I don't think we really need the Diviner anymore. I think we should probably keep it on board just in case. Let's go Delta affecting Grave though. Let's get this draw. Trigger the Ben 10. Nice, we got a Nova for follow-up too, which is so good. We're gonna add Chaos Valk. Let's make the Dweller now just in case we run out of space for whatever reason. All right, and Dweller. And then we can kind of do whatever we want with the rest of these guys. So if we want, we could actually make the format Appaloosa again with this Nova as well, which honestly is not that bad of an idea. Let's think about it, right? Because we can definitely just summon it, make it IP with it, and then just like link off everything. Let's do it. Let's do it. Why not? Otherwise it's just gonna have one less negate. It's just gonna have 3. So I don't think it's too big of a deal. I probably shouldn't, honestly, but it does put the beta in circulation, which isn't bad at all. Let's go Elf Effect. Let's bring back this full. And then let's link everything off for a format Appo that cannot be destroyed by card effects. And yeah, I don't know why I clicked main phase 2. I'm trying to put counters on this. Honestly, not bad though. This is pretty decent because during our opponent's turn, we use this to stop their entire grave, trigger the Elf. We can summon back the Diviner, pop the Scythe, summon Scythe, and what do? It's pretty good. We do have to send the Entis to grave. Do not forget that. But yeah, and then during their turn, they do have a Diviner of their own, which doesn't do anything because anything they send to grave can't activate. They have a Keldo that can summon itself, put itself on the body. Not really, actually, because they use the Kelbeck effect, huh? So actually, they can't really do that unless if they... No, there's actually no way they can do that. So realistically, they can just normal summon Sheeran or Rhino. Probably the Rhino, actually. Set the Sulic and maybe attack over this guy or the Dweller. Probably attack over the Dweller. Maybe we should put Dweller in attack mode. That's a good thing to remember. All right. Put Dweller in attack mode so that so that they can attack over it with Rhino Heart. So they have to summon the Sheeran to attack over it. That's actually a pretty decent idea. Okay, so honestly, I feel pretty decent about this. Going second, not so much. Good luck dealing with Dweller, I guess. But that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll show you the list one more time just so you are aware. This is the current idea. First draft. I don't know how well this is going to work, but yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys later.